Hey y'all, welcome back to Max Out Time with AJ2. I'm Danielle Deavens, co-CEO of Xchange, the most convenient way to buy Black online. In honor of Black Business Month, we're taking over the podcast to chat with entrepreneurs, investors, and Black business supporters. So be sure to subscribe, like, comment, share, and you and your network won't miss out on any of these incredible conversations. Today, we're joined by Abner Montfleury, founder of Montfleur Duvin Wines, a Baltimore-based brand with wines that honor women in his family. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be part of this platform.
Yeah, absolutely. So to kick things off, tell me about your earliest experience with wine.
So I'll probably say my earliest experience with wine was home. Um, for some reason, it's bringing me back to like a red wine that's like in the closet, like tucked in, buried, because our family didn't really drink alcohol. The only alcohol that we consumed was cremas, which is a Haitian version of of an eggnog. So I'll probably say my first time drinking wine was home. And for some reason, I found a wine in a back of a closet, and that's just bringing me back to, I'll probably say, when I was like 11, 12. So I'll probably say that's the first vivid memory I have of drinking wine at home.
It's always interesting to me when people have these memories of drinking any sort of spirit or wine at a younger age. Did you like it, or like were you into it, or was it kind of like not for me yet?
I think it was not for me at that time, and good thing it wasn't. And so I was just really just curious as a curious kid, and I'm glad that I tried it there than anywhere else, and I was able to try it with family.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny that red wine was your first experience so early, because that's something that I just now, like, in later 20s I'm starting to really have an appreciation for. But I think it takes a little bit of a, thoughtful palate, I would
Yeah.
say, for sure. So wine isn't the kind of business where you come up with the idea and have the business up and running in a month. So tell me about the process of launching Montfleur Duvin.
And so I'll say after graduating in 2018, I moved down to Maryland almost 2 years ago. And I was frequenting a lot of wine festivals. And one thing I realized was that, they weren't people that looked like me, that looked like you, that either owned wine or just had wine at these wine festivals. And for me, I said, let me try to just figure it out. Like, what is the process? I started asking questions, connecting with, for example, the Maryland Wine Association, spoke with the director, just getting to know the contacts and people in that industry. And like I said, one thing led to another, and I was able to connect with my partner, who kind of helped me along the ropes, allowed me to kind of see what he does, but also implementing the research that I've done to see how can I bring up, or how can I, come up with my own wine? How can I launch my own company? And this past August of 2020, I was able to finally launch my own wine company based out in Baltimore. Named my first wine after my late grandmother, and then my current wine, my red wine, is named after my mom, and she's alive. So.
That's awesome. Beyond just the names, which are powerful in themselves, what makes Montfleur Duvin unique?
Mhm. First off, black owned. I think that's what makes it very unique. There's less than 1% of us in the wine industry, and so um, I decided to become the change that I wanted to see. And so I'll probably start off with that. We are a black-owned wine company, and I'll probably say my first two wines are starter wines for soft palate drinkers. That's who I wanted to appeal to, people that don't tend to, get outside the Moscato realm or get outside the cab realm. And so for me, I said, let me try to create something that will allow people to expand their palate and want to, get into the wine world, want to try different wines when they go out and whatnot, and not just be stuck with, we only drink Moscato.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a challenge that just over time, I think drinking more wine, stepping out of the box a little bit is a piece of getting to those more complex wines, things that are, a little bit harder on the palate, but, you can start to taste the different flavors and things like that. So I definitely want to, kind of double click on something you said
Okay.
about being a Black winemaker. So I know the first sentence of your about page on your website says, "Where are the Black winemakers?" And now that you're in the industry, where are those people? Where are more people like you, and why aren't there more of you?
Looking within my background, there's actually one other Haitian wine producer in the United States, and that he's in Oregon. So I know where he is. Um, and just being able to be in this space has allowed me to connect with a lot of people, whether they're in the wine industry or the spirits industry. And so I'll probably say we are out there. It's not a lot of us, but we are out there. We are making noise. We do have our wines out there. I can go from naming the McBride sisters to Philosophy One Winery, which is a Black-owned and woman-owned wine company here in Baltimore. Myself, and there's countless of people that are now, having that traction to be on that main stage, get on the national platform, get on these panels where they can just kind of showcase their wines.
Yeah. Do you think that one of the barriers is capital? I know that's something we talk a lot about in entrepreneurship in general, that it's a major barrier for many Black Americans, especially, to be able to get into higher barrier to entry fields, even within entrepreneurship, and that for some, entrepreneurship is just simply not possible.
Right.
I'd imagine, you have to source the grapes, you have to source the actual wine itself, and you have to do testing and kind of get
Yep.
the blends right and all of that. That takes time, and I'm sure that takes capital. What are some of the ins and outs of those challenges that you experience that you think specifically kind of can shut out some would-be Black winemakers?
I definitely think capital is one, just being able to start off, making sure that, um, every the legal aspects of launching your company is on path with everything, whether it's licensing, your sales tax, making sure you're paying taxes off your wine, um, making sure you're able to distribute in different states, um, having someone to actually package your wine and send them out and print the labels. All that takes capital. So I'll probably say that was one of the biggest challenges for me. Fortunately, I was able to kind of invest totally myself, 100% myself, into launching my wine company, which I do feel great about, because it's, putting in that hard work, understanding the ins and out. I want to know the ins and out of how to run my company, so then I can kind of put another person in that position or help other people, that do want to venture into the wine industry world. So I will say that understanding the need for capital, so you can, launch and build the foundation of your company is super important. And I will also say one of the challenges that I had to overcome was during the pandemic, I couldn't be outside. And so I was restricted on how I got my wine to people, doing tastings and whatnot. And so for me, I said I had to think outside the box. And so I decided to reach out to hotels. Decided to reach out to plant shops. I decided to reach out to ice cream shops, saying, "Hey, would you like to turn my wine into an ice cream? Or would
Wow.
you pair our wine with, these amazing plants that you can have going out to people? Because who doesn't love wine and ice cream?
Yeah.
Um, and who doesn't love, wine and plants?" So, like I said, I had to think outside the box in regards to trying to get my product out there, and I'm grateful that the pandemic allowed me to pivot and just, like I said, think outside the box. Because if the pandemic was not here, I probably would have been at wine festivals. I probably been doing the same kind of things that typical, you know, winemakers and wine companies do in order to get their wine out there. But I think because I went through what I went through, I was able to kind of put myself ahead. And you don't hear a lot of people that have ice cream wine. So
Yeah. So tell us where we can get that, because now I kind of want it.
you can get it at the Charmery, which is a Baltimore-based wine factory wine shop
Okay.
here in Maryland.
That's awesome. So I know you also mentioned a partner. Is that somebody who's a business partner in just kind of the business piece of it, or are they also someone who kind of helps with the formulation of the wines as well, sourcing ingredients?
That person just helps me with the formulation of my wine.
Okay.
And so he's a great resource. Actually, he doesn't just help me with my wine, but he's just a great resource that I can speak to in regards to legal matters or just navigating kind of what our next step is for our company. So he's been a great consultant, but he's also been a great winemaker as well. And so we've been working very close together. I'm just trying to make sure that my vision comes to fruition. No pun intended. But he's there to kind of make sure my vision comes to fruition in regards to making sure my wines are what I want them to be.
Yeah. So long term,
Yep.
5 years out, you're only really what, a year into this, but in 5 years, I won't do the like, where do you see yourself in 10, but in 5, what do you see as the future of your brand and your label?
Right. So definitely in the next 5 years, I do want to add a couple more wines on my portfolio list. I want to contribute to helping other wineries or just anybody that's interested in the wine industry get in there. Like I said, we make up less than 1%, and I would be remiss if I kind of kept all this information and this knowledge to myself and not try to share it with people that, like I said, have the drive, have the motivation, and the capital to get into this space. I do plan on creating a scholarship for our alma mater, high school, where we can emphasize financial literacy and entrepreneurship. I think it's important, especially at a high schooler age, to understand just finance. I definitely feel like my background, unfortunately, I didn't get that. I guess that help with those resources when I was in college. And just looking back, just being able to put someone in that position, because so many students have these amazing entrepreneurship ideas, but don't have the background. I mean, don't have the resources or the funding to, be $1 million, sneaker trading company. And kids are doing these businesses, right between our eyes, and they may not. To us, it may not seem, hey, that's a business. But if you're able to, for example, trade sneakers, that's a business within yourself. It's all about just making sure you have the foundation and the resources to, actually go legit. And so that's one of the goals that I want to do, and one of the ways I want to give back to my high school. We do also plan on emphasizing the culture of Haiti. Like I said, I am Haitian, and I've built that within my wine company. And I don't want anybody to ever forget that. Yes, I am Black owned, but I am Haitian first. And so that is one of the things that I want to do, continue to showcase and advocate for our Haitian people. With everything that's going on, I think it's important for me to kind of continue to put us at the forefront so that we are never forgotten.
No, that's really important. And I really love that. So what has been, the most rewarding thing once you got started and kind of,
Yeah.
Got things going? What's been most rewarding?
I will say two things. Two of my most rewarding just feelings in regards to like just being in this space is giving my mom the red wine before I launched, and she loved it. And just seeing how our label came together. It's a hibiscus flower, which is the national flower of Haiti, and just kind of resembles just how I feel towards my mom. Um, I believe that the way I name my wines is really a love letter to the Haitian women, inspirational Haitian women in my life, that have guided me and allowed me to become that man that I am today. So I'll probably say that is one of the highlights during my time. And then I'll probably say my second highlight was getting into my first store. And my first store was a Black owned, woman owned wine bar. It's called Serenity Wine Bar in Locust Point, Baltimore.
Awesome. That's incredible. There's actually one that I know of in New York that I would love to recommend you
Please,
work with
definitely.
already.
Yeah.
I don't live there anymore, but my brother and his girlfriend frequent this place, and I know they carry a lot of Black owned wine and spirits. So that's really important. Also, I think the collaboration is so key. So let's get into really, really quickly the wines themselves. Tell me the meal or thing that someone should pair with each of these wines.
So I like to pair my white wine with everything.
Okay.
So from spicy food to Haitian food to white macadamia cookies, to caramel ice cream. Like I like to experiment with my wine because it's such a, I think it's a great balance between Gewürztraminer and peaches. So it's not a super sweet white wine, and it's not a
Right.
super sweet dry wine. And so, like I said, I try to pair it with everything, and I ask people, try it, put it in everything, cook it with everything. And so it's amazing to just hear the different pairings that people come up with our wines. But what I will say is I love to drink my wine with white macadamia cookies. I don't know what it is, but it's very good. And so that's kind of what I do in regards to my white wine. For my red wine, I just started cooking with my red wine, and so I'm not really a chef, but I said if I have a wine, I got to use it. And so that's kind of what I've been doing. And like I said, our pairings for our wines, I try not to, be in a box. Of course, certain wines go with certain meals and whatnot, but it's amazing just to see people try it with different things, send me pictures, or just say, hey, we just had it with, you know, um, like I said, steak or salmon, or we had it with, Haitian food, or Trinidadian food, or a burger. So it's just being able to hear all those things, and we are coming up with a list where we'll be putting out different pairings that people try with our wine. So
That's awesome. So I do want to end on rapid fire questions. I
yes,
love doing this. Which one is your favorite Montfleur wine?
Yvonne,
Okay. Another black owned wine brand that you've enjoyed.
Earl Stevens,
Okay.
E40 has wine, and they are really good. And so I'll probably say that has been one of the black owned wines that I look up to, just because E40 was in this space before me, and it's just amazing to see another black man in that space.
Yeah, that's awesome. Your favorite grape variety.
Gewürztraminer.
Okay. And briefly describe the
Yes.
perfect wine drinking experience.
Um, Being on the beach. Give me a glass of wine. Give me a beach. Give me my little dog. I got a toy poodle.
Oh,
We're just relaxing on the beach, just enjoying the sun and just hearing the waves. That's kind of where when I drink my wine, that's where I see myself. That's where I try to bring your thoughts and just your feelings when you drink it. In the back of my wine, it says, living in the moment, making memories, and celebrating life to the fullest extent. And that's the feeling I want people to enjoy as they open the bottle, as they look at the bottle, as they share it, and make these memories.
that's amazing. Well, last thing, where can people find your wines and how can they support you?
So you can find my wines online, montfleurduvin.com. I'm in retail locations in Maryland and Massachusetts. We will be in California, New York, Florida soon. We ship to 45 different states, and soon we'll maybe be on Bold Exchange.
Well, I am so happy to have talked to you today and just diving into yet another industry that Black people are doing amazing in. So, congratulations on your success so far. And I can't wait to see how you continue to grow. Everyone who's listening and watching, thank you so much for getting this far. Definitely make sure you like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to Max Out Time because you're going to want to continue to listen to these conversations. And when AJ2 is back, I know he's going to have even more better conversations for you. So, everyone, subscribe, like, comment, and also go buy yourself a bottle or two of wine.